A lot of you want to go viral on YouTube. You want that one video that blows up and changes everything. You want millions of subscribers, the brand deals, making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing what you love. And I do get it. That does sound amazing. But today I wanted to talk about someone who actually got that. Someone who built what every YouTuber dreams about. 50 million subscribers, billions of views, an estimated $4 million in future earnings just sitting there waiting for him. But in the end, he decided to walk away from it all. His name is Luke Nichols, and on May 17th, 2025, he uploaded his final video. The title was just one word: goodbye. So just a bit about Luke. So back in 2015, he started a YouTube channel called Outdoor Boys. At the time, he wasn't even a full-time creator. He was actually a criminal defense attorney in Virginia. The channel was just more of a side project, something he did for fun. Camping videos, fishing trips, survival skills in the Alaska wilderness, just him and his 3 sons exploring together. And for years, it did grow. It grew slowly, nothing crazy, just consistent quality content that people loved. He had a small but loyal audience, people who genuinely cared about what he was doing. But then something changed. In the 18 months before he quit, Outdoor Boys exploded. The channel went from 3 million subscribers to 15 million. The videos racked up nearly 3 billion views in total. 50 million subscribers, an estimated $500,000 per year in ad revenue, and that's not even counting the brand deals, sponsorships, merchandise, all of that stuff. By every single metric YouTube uses to define this success, Luke Nichols had won. He'd made it. This is what everyone dreams about. But why did he leave? And that's where it gets interesting, because in his goodbye video, he said something that I think a lot of creators don't want to hear. He said, "Even good things can be taken too far, and I think I'm starting to reach that point." So I'm just going to go over the first bit again. Even good things can be taken too far. The success that everyone is chasing had pretty much become the thing that was destroying his life. And I want to break that down, why that happened, because this isn't just about Luke. This is about what going viral actually costs. Here's what Luke didn't expect when his channel blew up. When you go from 3 million to 15 million subscribers in 18 months, you don't just gain an audience, you pretty much lose all your privacy along with it. Luke actually mentioned this in his videos from time to time. He said the sheer volume of fans trying to contact him, trying to take pictures with him, or just trying to come up and talk to him in public became severely overwhelming. I want you to just take a second and think about this. He couldn't do something like take his family to dinner without being recognized. He couldn't even go camping, which is what his whole entire channel was built around, without fans showing up. It got to the point where people were sharing his home address online. Security became a real concern for him and his family. And the worst part of all of this is, from YouTube's point of view, the algorithm wanted more. No, I don't mean YouTube's algorithm wanted more people invading Luke's privacy. What I mean is, YouTube's recommendation system saw that the Outdoor Boys was performing really well, so it kept pushing the videos to more people, which brought more subscribers, which triggered more recommendations. And for most creators, that sounds like a dream, but Luke and his wife quickly realized that if the channel kept growing at this pace, their family would never have a normal life again. Which some people may be fine with, but to be honest, I feel a majority of people's minds would change if they were put in that situation, along with their family by their side. Luke even said himself, "The time to stop is before this problem gets so out of hand that my family and I can't live normal lives." So I want everyone to just take a second and let that sink in. A successful creator with millions of dollars in potential future earnings chose to walk away because success itself had become unsustainable. And this isn't just unique to Luke. Like, other YouTubers have done the same thing. In 2024 and 2025, YouTube saw a massive wave of major creators stepping back. Matt Pat from Game Theory, Tom Scott, Jenna Marbles, years before that, all of them left due to similar reasons. The platform's incentive structure rewards constant production, more videos, more engagement, more content, and once you're successful, the pressure to maintain that success becomes severely overwhelming. Because if you stop, the algorithm moves on and your audience moves on, and suddenly everything you built will just disappear. Okay, so now that I've explained all of that, I want to talk about what it actually costs, because the financial upside is only part of the equation. There's a bunch of hidden costs that people don't talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is time and energy. Luke Nichols made 1,100 videos over 11 years. That works out at something like 2 videos per week, every single week for a decade. Think about what that means: filming, editing, Traveling to locations, packing all the gear, unpacking all the gear, planning the trips, managing the business side of things. He even talked about working 100 hours a week at some points, late nights editing while his kids were asleep, going camping with pneumonia because the content schedule demanded it, rebuilding his homestead while injured because he had to keep the videos coming. And you know what the worst part is? The algorithm doesn't care about sustainability, it only cares about consistency. If you miss a week, your views drop. YouTube sees this as a declining interest and shows your content to fewer people. You literally punished for taking a break. Then there's the mental health side of it. There was a study in 2021 that found 90% of content creators have experienced burnout, and 71% had considered quitting. And these are the successful creators, the creators who made it, the people who are living the dream everybody wants. Luke kind of described this as being trapped. The channel that gave him creative freedom and financial success had become a prison of expectations. His audience expected certain content, brands expected certain performance, YouTube expected consistent uploads. While all of this is a lot, I think the part that really got to Luke is the family impact. All 3 of his sons wanted to become YouTubers. They've grown up on camera. Their entire childhood had been documented for millions of strangers to watch. And Luke realised he had less than 6 years before his eldest son turned 18 and moved out, and he'd spent all that time building a business instead of actually preparing his son to be an adult. He said, "I spent so much time focusing on me and my family and growing my business. It's time to take a step back and start focusing on other people for a change." When your career consumes your family life, even financial success starts to feel like a failure. And I think that's something a lot of people don't understand until it's too late. And here's the thing that I think most YouTubers, especially new ones, don't actually realize until it's way too late. YouTube's algorithm is not designed to make you successful. It's actually designed to keep viewers on the platform. You're not YouTube's customer, you're the supplier of content that keeps the real customers, which are the advertisers and the viewers, engaged in the site. And like any other company out there, suppliers are replaceable. For example, when Luke quit making videos on Outdoor Boys, do you know what YouTube did? It did nothing. The algorithm just started recommending other outdoor content. Other creators filled the gap he left. The machine kept running like nothing happened. And this is actually why sustainable success on YouTube is actually so difficult. Because you're operating in a system that extracts maximum value from you while offering no job security, no benefits, no protections whatsoever. If you burn out, the platform moves on. If your content stops performing, the algorithm moves on. If you need a break because you're exhausted or dealing with personal stuff, your audience moves on. And really, the more successful you become, the more you have to lose, which makes it even harder to step away. Now in Luke's case, he could actually afford to walk away because he had built other things. He had diversified his income streams. He had a law degree to fall back on. His faith and his family gave him identity beyond just being a YouTuber. But for a lot of creators, they don't actually have that. They're all in on the platform. YouTube is their entire life, and when the platform's demands become unsustainable, they have nowhere else to go. So by the way I'm talking, it does sound like any big channel eventually will crash and burn, which is actually not the case. The ones who survived though, they all have something in common. They never let YouTube define who they are. Luke actually even mentioned something like this in one of his older videos. He said in one of his fishing videos, "Fishing is not the most important thing in my life by a long shot. My faith and my family are much more important to me." The channel that he had was a tool. It wasn't his identity. It wasn't his purpose. It was just something he did. And that's the key difference. Compare that to creators who build their entire lives around YouTube. When algorithms changes or burnout hits, they lose everything because they are the channel. There's nothing else. The best way to look at it is the sustainable creators treat YouTube as a distribution, not destination. They use the platform to build personal brands that exist beyond one channel. They create multiple revenue streams that don't depend on ad revenue. They build audience who follow them as people, not just as content machines. And they set boundaries to protect their mental health and their personal lives. Luke is actually helping his son build a channel now. It's called Outdoor Tom, and it already has over 1 million subscribers. But he's doing things a bit differently this time, with perspective, with boundaries, with an understanding of what went wrong before. Because he learned the lesson that most creators learn way too late. Growth at all costs isn't worth the cost. Okay, so now we're getting actually closer to the end of the video. So I just wanted to say, if you're a creator or you're thinking about becoming one, here's the truth you need to hear. Going viral isn't the goal. Building something sustainable is. Having 10,000 loyal subscribers who watch everything you make is worth way more than having a million random subscribers who showed up for one viral video and then disappeared. Consistent income beats a viral payout every single time. And the life where you actually control your time and your mental health is worth more than millions and millions of views. Luke Nichols walked away from an estimated $4 million in future earnings. That's $4 million. And he said it was the right decision. This is because YouTube's definition of success and an actual successful life are not the same thing, not even close. For anyone that's still watching the video and they also make content, I want you to ask yourself this. Are you building something sustainable, or are you chasing metrics that don't actually matter in the long run? Because the algorithm will always want more from you. More videos, more time, more energy. And if you let it, it will take everything. I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't create content. Personally, I love making videos. I've been making them for years across multiple different channels. But I'm just trying to share what it actually takes. Luke's story isn't a tragedy. It's actually kind of inspiring in a weird way, because he made a choice. He chose his family over the algorithm. He chose his mental health over the metrics, and he walked away on his own terms. Most people don't get that chance. So if you're building something right now, learn from his story, set boundaries, diversify, don't let platform define you, and remember that success isn't just about numbers. Anyways, that's it for this one. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Do you think Luke made the right call? Would you walk away for $4 million? And yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you.